Sunday, President Biden called the evacuation situation inevitably chaotic. He actually said, quote, "There's no way to evacuate that many people without the pain, loss, and heartache." As the top-ranking Republican in Congress, do you agree?
I certainly do not agree. This was a terrible decision. We only had 2,500 troops there. We hadn't lost a single American military personnel in a year and a half. We were there just to keep the lid on to avoid what's currently happening. So the evacuation is a result of an extraordinarily bad decision. And now they're all back. The barbarians are running the country again. And if you had to make a decision like that, at least you'd have enough troops there and a plan to handle a very complicated evacuation.
As you look at the turn of the situation, you mentioned it, not only have the Taliban taken over, but there's a possibility that it creates a breeding ground for Al-Qaeda, ISIS. What scares you the most about that?
They're the ones that hit us, and they're back in the country already, and they'll be able to operate with impunity, all of which could have been avoided by simply keeping the lid on with a rather small number of American military personnel. And by the way, this was a NATO operation. It wasn't just us. There were British there, French there, Germans there. They've all left because we left. And the president's being criticized by our NATO allies for making this horrible foreign policy decision, an utter debacle.
Senator, over the weekend, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene filed for impeachment against President Biden because of his handling of the exit. Would you support that?
No.
Why not?
I don't routinely react to those kind of comments by members of the House.
I did do some research. Roughly, I think we lost 40 Kentuckians between 2001 and 2014 at the height of that conflict. What would you say to the families of those Kentuckians when they see a 20-year backslide in the situation that their loved one fought for?
I would think they'd be very discouraged. And many of them would ask, what was it all about? And what I would say to them is it was important. You kept America safe for 20 years. They were unable to hit us again here in the homeland from over there. And so your son or daughter did not die in vain.
How does Kentucky go about deciding, and if so, choosing to be a part of taking in some of those refugees?
You know, I think Catholic Charities generally is involved in relocation of refugees.
Can you do anything from your position to help support that transition?
Well, I don't know, but I certainly believe that these refugees are entitled to have a new life in a new country, and I think we owe it to them to help them.